So, this is live, right?
Yeah?
So we do this in one take?
Don't we already have a show like that?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, welcome to St.
St.
Rose
Rose
Fireside
Fireside
Chats.
I'm Tiffany.
As always, I'm Ted. Good to be back.
And I'm Clarissa.
Tonight in chat, we have childhood and imaginary friends.
Forgotten fall festivities.
And the plant.
Oh, we certainly do. All right, so childhood and imaginary friends. Clarissa,
Yeah.
tell me about your childhood. Tell me about your
My
friends.
childhood was very different. I never had like one friend in elementary school, so I hopped around a lot. And then, when I was in kindergarten, I'm like, oh, everyone has an imaginary friend. So I'm like, let me pretend to have imaginary friends so people don't think I'm talking to myself.
So you're trying to fit in.
Yeah, and it actually worked for a good while. And then people found out that I actually do talk to myself. And I'm like, yeah, cat's out of the bag.
Beautiful. Tiffany, about yourself. Any childhood and imaginary friends stick out in your mind?
When I was younger, the only imaginary friends I had were these little animals that I would carry around in my pockets. They would like fit in my hands and like sit on my shoulders, and they would just like be dogs and cats. I think I only had just a dog and a cat, and they just kind of do their own little dog thing. And I think that's the only really imaginary friends that I had.
Do they have names?
Probably, but I can't remember for the life of me. Yeah, I guess they weren't that important.
Perfect. I remember when I was in second grade, Clarissa, like you, I kind of had a bit of a hop around scenario with hopping to different groups of friends. And I remember, actually quite similarly, I thought, oh, I guess other people have imaginary friends, so I should make one of my own. I was the only child, so I decided I'll make my own brother. So I made an imaginary brother who I didn't give a name to. I just called him Bro. But then one day, Bro got really mad, so I drew him on a piece of construction paper. I took like 5 pieces. I made like one in the shape of a head, a torso, arms, and legs, and I cut them all out and glued them together. And then during recess, I went in front of everybody and I ripped him in half. I said there can only be one. So that was the only imaginary friend that I can remember off the top of my head. But to speak on a more general basis, Clarissa, do you think it's healthy to have imaginary friends? Would you allow your child to have an imaginary friend?
Totally. My greatest compliment in third grade, because we used to have compliment books. You had to write one great thing about the person for that day. And the most, I've either got you're great, smile, your amazing laugh, or how imaginative you are. Because whenever people would ever come play with me, I would always make up the best scenarios, apparently. Although I can't remember any of them to save my life.
Hey, that means they were one of a kind. That can't be replicated.
So.
That's awesome. How about you, Tiffany?
I think it's a good part for like children to understand their own minds, and I think it gives them that ability to become creative. Because I know in like school systems and stuff like that, they do kind of like take the creativity away, and I think it's an important part for the kids to express that creativity and not have it taken away from them.
Perfect. Do you think there's like a cutoff age when like people should like kind of like knock some sense to their kids, be like, yeah, that friend isn't real, they're an object permanence?
I do think there's like a certain point where it's a little bit creepy or unhealthy. I think that might be, I don't know, maybe probably like 10.
Okay.
Maybe.
That's a good cutoff age. How about you, Clarissa?
I'm kind of the opposite. I don't see the reason for the cutoff age. It's not so much the fact that they're imagining another thing to help them with the whatever they're going through. It's more the fact that they're creating something in their mind that only they can see. It's helping with their own creativity, and it's helping with their own ability to understand themselves. So whether they keep their imaginary friend until they're like 13 or even 14, I don't see a problem with it. But they still have to understand the difference between an imaginary friend and real life.
So they keep it internal, kind of like to themselves. You think that's still like healthy? That kind of makes it all right for them to continue it on in their life?
There's a fine line between keeping things internal for health reasons and keeping things internal for self-defense reasons. My main issue is that a lot of things I do, it's for self-defense, not mental health. So I need to fix that.
Society gets you down?
Yeah, I hate society, but.
It's a fickle mistress. Tiffany, any final thoughts
Well,
about imaginary friends?
I do agree with you that like, even though like our opinions differ in that thing, but like it can help with certain things, and I agree with that.
All right, just to wrap this up, if you're really interested in adults that have imaginary friends, I invite you to look up the word tulpa. It's one type of a Pandora's box of a topic. But anyway, speaking of topics, we're going to go on to our next topic, the fall holidays. Clarissa, what are you doing to prepare for Thanksgiving?
Oh, Thanksgiving is one of my best and happiest things right after Christmas, only because Christmas makes me so happy. But Thanksgiving's one of those times when I can always remember my family getting together and just hanging out. My aunt would always make the stuffing. My mom would make the rolls. We'd get a whole bunch of baked goods, and we'd all just sit around and be weird. I'd always get stuck at the kids' table and be like, when can I be an adult? And now they're like, you can sit at the adults. And I'm like, can I go back to the kids? So.
Perfect. How about you, Tiffany? Doing anything to prepare for the holiday?
Absolutely nothing to prepare, but I am excited for the cranberry sauce and the stuffing. Those are probably my favorites. I know a lot of people hate cranberry sauce, but I like
They
it.
just have bad taste.
Yeah.
To go into a slightly different tangent, when do you think is it too early or too inappropriate for Christmas songs to come on the radio? Because I feel like we are so hell-bent on pushing Thanksgiving under the rug, like smothering that turkey, that way it never gets its time in the sun, that I feel as if it's too soon after Halloween that people start gearing up for Christmas. I get it, you need to make a profit, small businesses are dying in this country, but still, I feel like we should wait longer. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, also on a way of like Christmas songs come on, that means cold weather. So I don't want to hear Christmas songs, but I feel like when it should start is probably like a week before Thanksgiving maybe for Christmas.
Definitely.
That way you can kind of like actually realize that Thanksgiving is right around the corner and not have it a week before Thanksgiving and be like, oh yeah, I need to prepare lots of food. Like, it blindsides you a little bit less,
Definitely.
I think.
Sublime.
Yeah.
Clarissa, cold weather means cold turkeys. Fun fact. So, when do you think should be the appropriate time for Christmas music to permeate into our lives?
See, I have this issue where, like, because I love Christmas so much, once I get latched onto it, it's hard for me to let go of it. So, well, my thing is, like, I really do think we should wait until maybe, like, the middle of November, later in November. This way I can get the full Thanksgiving experience before I can get into the Christmas experience. Because I've already been thinking about Christmas presents, and then I'm like, oh, wait, we're in November. We got to eat turkey still. But
Nice. So earlier I said how Christmas kind of smothers Thanksgiving, but I looked it up, and apparently there are a lot more obscure holidays that just completely get no time in the sun. They're just stomped under Christmas's boot. For example, did you guys know that November 3rd was Sandwich Day?
what?
Yeah, can you believe that? It was National Sandwich Day.
I like
And then on the 14th, it was National Diabetes Awareness Month. And then 2 days later, it was National Fast Food Day.
That's ironic.
All these holidays just passing us by. On November 5th, there's Guy Fawkes Day, also known as Gunpowder Day. You know what remember November the 5th of November, all those creepy mask things? No idea? Perfect, it's a dumb holiday anyway. There's also, what's the other one? Oh, what is the one I'm trying to think of? Well, of course, it's Veterans Day. That's always an important holiday to celebrate. There were just so many obscure ones that literally they're escaping my mind even when they were latched on 5 minutes earlier. That's how obscure and pointless they are, but they still deserve a special place. Don't you agree, Clarissa?
Yeah, of course. We should get every holiday off, especially birthdays.
Exactly. Everyone gets participation trophies. It should be the same for holidays.
Yes.
So we have some time left. So we're going to talk about, this plant. Clarissa, what do you think about this plant? I want to get opinions first.
I love that plant. He's
Really?
so adorable. I just want to take him home. Like,
Don't
he's
give him a
so
swell
cute.
head. Tiffany?
I think he's cute as well. Like, he's so little and he's got his own little container. And he's so little, like, I feel like he's fierce. Like, he's not afraid to grow. And I love
Kind of
that.
like the underdog.
Yeah, he is the underdog.
That is where I viciously disagree. This little guy's name is Jim. I'm still debating on a last name. I want it to be something historical, maybe something that starts with the C, but I'm not sure yet. This little guy was actually a rescue. And believe you me, that very easily he can go right back out into the street. Do you understand me? I rescued you, and I will put you in the ground someday. You see, I've had this little guy for about 3 days now. Shout out to my boy Blake for giving this to me. I love the clubs on this campus. And I've had him for 3 days, and I don't believe I've been a very doting father. I believe that a plant should be treated like a child, like a book. You care for it. You make sure that it's nice and healthy. But this little ingrate hasn't grown an inch in the 3 days that I've had it. I remember on the first night I overwatered it because I'm just too affectionate. I care for it too much. I guess I'm overbearing, you know?
But if there's a fine line between not affectionate
Look how wet
enough
the
and
soil
too
is.
affectionate. And that's okay.
It's as if I cried into it. Not out of sadness, but out of anger. You ever been that way? You ever been so
Oh,
angry you just
yeah.
start crying? That's the
So
type of emotion this
frustration.
plant is evoking in me. I remember I gave it all the sunlight in the world. I even opened up my window, almost froze to death because of the fall air, to make sure that this little jerk got all the sunlight it needed.
there you
And it's
go.
not all. This is a give and take relationship, father and son. And it's not throwing balls for us to catch. It's not telling me about its day. It's not putting A+ tests on the refrigerator. It's just there.
You do know that cold air is bad for certain plants, right?
Well, you think this guy would grow a spine to it. I've debated actually getting a starburst wrapper and cutting up into little pieces and putting like 5 pieces into it. That way it knows what it needs to work for. It needs to work for sunlight. Because I think that character is best built when it's challenged. So if it's challenged by litter and it gets reminded it needs to reach out to the biggest star in the world, the sun, it'll just slowly and slowly grow out of it. Then it'll remove one piece at a time at certain points. Then once all the pieces are removed, we'll refresh the cycle and put a new litter for it. Get it ready for the real world. Tiffany, do you have any advice to Jim to not
What?
be such a disappointment?
I don't think I have advice for Jim, but I think I have advice for you.
Let me hear it. How can I be a better father to
I
this
think
thing?
you could be a better father to your plant by giving it time. Like, it needs time within itself, and you need to have patience with it, because everything beautiful takes time if you have patience.
I've given like
And-
72 hours.
It needs more
not
than
enough
3
time.
days.
I went on the
Like,
WikiHow.
could
It
you-
said to
could
scream
you
at it.
change
Believe you
who
me,
you
I
are
have
in
screamed
3
at this
days?
thing. I
Could
mean,
you like grow how like
If it-
3 inches in 3 days?
God, I wish so. Being a manlet is hard, but it's just I was told that extreme situations build the man. And I thought I can make this little plant so
But you
beautiful.
also need love. Love.
I think
Is what
I
grows
think there's
things.
A
Love
great
comes in
comeback.
solo capacities. Yes,
I
go
think
ahead.
there's a great comeback that comes with this. You say that your plant's a disappointment. If your plant could talk, I'm sure it would look at you and say, "I don't remember eating disappointment, and you are what you eat."
Well, then I would give this thing the biggest backhand of its life, because how dare it talk to me like that? I saved this thing from the street, and it has the audacity to give me attitude. I'm trying to build its spine. I'm trying to give it
Maybe
character.
it needs more of a mother and less of a
Listen,
father.
listen. Here's the thing. Your child can either be your best friend when it's a child, or it can be your best friend when it's an adult. I'm going for the latter. I'm going to put an apple seed in this mother. That way it has some competition.
Or you could make it as the mother, more tender person, because you can't just survive off of just do
Do you
it.
have any idea how hard it is to be a single parent?
So ask someone to help.
I have 3 roommates. They're the biggest enablers that I know. Love them to pieces. They're not going to help. They're going to watch this thing wither and die. But I believe in you. I know that all this screaming activates some chemicals in you. It's a proven scientific fact. So work with me, Jim. Work with me.
Try classical music. I hear classical helps.
What about like Screamo or anime openings?
Or you could sing to it yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to
you're-
sing.
Why?
I've been court-martialed by my roommates. I'm not allowed to sing.
Well,
it in
you're
private.
Not court-martialed here.
Or just
please.
breathe on it. Talk
Yeah.
to it. Tell it how you feel. Tell it your feelings.
You are such a disappointment. So help me God, I'll put
No,
you on
no.
the street if I don't see some real progress coming
No,
out of you.
no,
Listen, you're not
something
gonna embarrass
more-
me in front of my
more
friends. You
enjoy-
understand me? I have important people coming over, and they're gonna be like, "Oh wow, what a great plan!" And "Oh wow, what's that pathetic piece of lettuce doing in the corner of the room?" You understand me?
Try something softer, more like, I enjoy your company. Please don't leave me.
You're gonna die one day. We're all gonna die.
You're
God,
not
you better do
helping.
something with yourself in the meantime.
You're not helping.
Well, help is like a program. You need to give into it before you get something out, you know? Life's all about give and take. The plants are a beautiful symbol of give and take. I don't even know what this thing is. Any guess as to what species this thing is? Because it ain't mine.
I'm thinking it might be like a spider plant.
It's just saying I should feed it spiders.
No,
I've been told that
no.
potassium is very good. Should I cut open a banana and like put pieces in it?
You could try that, but
Thank you for enabling my horrific behaviors.
You're welcome. But I would start with maybe some actual plant food. Go to like a florist and just ask for some plant food. Maybe enjoy.
I'm on a budget. I have a hard enough time feeding myself. Tiffany, any final words to Jim or myself about this
I think
relationship?
what you should do is you should put holes in the bottom because it needs to drain the water out. Otherwise, you're going to drown it. Like you're drowning it with hatred.
Yes.
Well, I wonder what will drown it first, the water or my vivid emotions. But that's a very good point. And with that, I think you've seen enough for today. So, as always, be sure to vote for the topics you would like to hear discussed in the show. You can validate our existence on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube as well. Until next time, tune in and get hyped for next episode of St. Rose Fireside Chats. Go vote or go home.